was something that it started with one app, and they just started using everywhere because it's a simple way to get engaged with the app. That's how the good UX sticks, and the trends just pops, and then they kind of go, because those are trends that as well, they are trying to figure out if they work, right? They need to know if they work so it can get stuck, or if they don't get stuck, then they're going to change it. Like the double tap, at first it was just a trend, and now it's something that got stuck.
Today we're going to talk about with Brenda. The first time we talk with Brenda, she is our community manager. So the topic that I want to talk to you is revolving UX trends in social media. So the first question is, how have you observed user experience trends evolving within social media platforms over the past year? And what factors do you think are driving these changes?
So I think that, first of all, the good UX is the one that you don't see that much, right? Like it's seamless, because you are enjoying what you are interacting with. So basically, how these trends combined with the UX are seamless kind of trends that we kind of see these different changes on social media platforms, but we don't see that much of it's a UX process, right? We think that it's just change on the setup, a change on the color that they are using. So this has to do a lot with UX. This is a thought change on our platforms. So I think that these trends have been pretty seamless, is the word for me, and that we normally use, and we don't see these like, for example, we don't think that the reach of the bottom to, I don't know, to post something on Instagram is placed on the center, because that's where our finger is going to reach out, right? So those are changes that maybe weren't on last years, or the first time that the Instagram, for example, we are using Instagram because it's the first platform that comes in mind. But those are changes that we don't actually, we are just like, they changed the platform, they changed how East plays some things, but this has a thought, right? Maybe the infinite scrolling, that was something that we didn't have, and it's actually a trend that we see in different platforms, right? On Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We see that on all the platforms, on the social media platforms that we have, and a lot of platforms that are not actually on the social media are using these UX trends on their apps because they know they work, right? So I think these trends that are based on social media are working seamless on all the things that we use UX, and those are like, changes that we don't see that much, but are really changing the way that we are interacting with the platforms.
I just remember one thing that Sydney told me when I interviewed her, and she told me like, you don't notice the UX until it's wrong and you don't have it. If it's everything perfect, you just think, oh, it's perfect. You don't think about the UX and UI. So if something like when you're using something and something just pop and if something is wrong, then you realize that, oh my God, the UX.
Yeah, like, oh my God, this is wrong on the app. I hate this thing that is always popping up. And you see that wrong thing or that wrong feature because you know when it's right. Exactly. And you know when using it in a pretty beautiful way that you're just having no trouble. But when you have trouble is when you are like, no, this is the worst thing. So that's when I turn again to this phrase that the UX done right is just seamless. You are just comfortable with it. So I think that a lot of things that we use on social media are good UX applied because it's just seamless. We are just like the feature that we see, and it's just a quick change of color to say that. For example, on Instagram, you have your normal stories, right? And you have the circle that is with this gradient, like pink with orange and all that. But when you do the close friends, you have this green circle, right? It's just a quick change. It doesn't have to be that much with UX, but more in the UI part. It it's just a change of recognition and all that, but it's kind of on the same like on the same pattern of seamless changes. And that is just a different way to see, like, hey, I'm on the close friends. This is different from the normal stories. So this is a distinctive um feature that has, and it was just a quick change. Everything is on the normal path. The circle is the same size, the placement is the same, it's just the color. It's just a different color that is going to show you that it's a different feature, that it's a different level that you are with this friend. So that's a lot of features that we have now on social media that is changing the way, just with an icon placed in the side of a picture, maybe it's going to show you that the account is verified, right? So those are features that are added seamlessly, that have like a different interaction. And also the placement that is going to be is where you are seeing that this thing is new, right? If maybe the verified button was another part, maybe you didn't notice, but it's placed in the right spot where your eyes are seeing, like your attention is driven to that. So I think, yeah,
And now
the
you see
trends are.
any profile, like for example, you go to LinkedIn and you recognize the same feature, you know? So they, I think, for example, Instagram and Facebook do it first, and now everybody's trying to copy some of their features that most of us already use and we're familiar with.
Yeah, and that's going to be we are going to see that a lot. Like a lot of apps and a lot of social media platforms are copying the things that are right in one in other platform, right? Instagram is copying the thing that is working with X, now that it was Twitter, but now it's X. And now we have Instagram threads. And it's kind of the same that we had on Twitter, but now we have it on Instagram because it's something that works. It's a conversational like interaction. So this works for this platform. I'm going to copy it in my platform. So I have more to give, right? And those are changes that a lot of platforms use to get better and to have actually more conversion on the use of their platform.
And now, a change of subject. So with the rise of new social media platforms and features, how do you see the landscape of social media UX evolving in the near future?
I think that it's going to be a pretty good collaboration, to say so, because now we only use we are more connected with all the things that has to be with platforms, technology. So I think UX features are stuck to whatever the UX, like the platforms or the social media platforms want to do later, right? So I think this is something that is just glued together, and it's going to be that way forever now. Yeah.
And now about accessibility and inclusivity. How do you think social media platforms are addressing these aspects in their user interfaces and experiences?
I think that we still are having some general accessibility features or inclusivity features, even though we have some personalized kind of things that we can do with our platforms, we still are on the general, right? To say so, for example, we have these personalized features that you can use to, I don't know, use your picture. You can change your picture. You can have a different feed. but at the end is going to be the same interface, right? So I think that we are kind of on the general, but we are trying to give more inclusivity into those platforms. I see that inclusivity maybe in the voice features, maybe for the people that don't like have a disability of seeing right, so they are using more the things that with voice. So I think this is changing, and a lot of platforms are using these and are including these kind of different features, to say so you can have a more range to use it. And also they are collaborating with the same, like, we are talking about software, right? The app is a software, the everything that we use is a software. UX is we are talking about the UX on the software. But these kind of apps and this kind of technology and inclusivity are working with the hardware. The hardware is our computer, our mobile phone, everything that we touch and it's like tangible is the hardware. So I think those kind of platforms are working with that as well.
Okay.
Are working with the hardware, are working with like, this is the circular, and they have to see like the overall picture. So that's why maybe the design is going to be different if you see it in your desktop that if you see it in your cell phone, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the part of inclusivity and accessibility that it's changing with the hardware. And the other features that are coming with maybe the voiceover, maybe some color features, maybe the sound of the clicks, all those kind of things, when you publish the sound of those kind of things are working more with the app that in the hardware. So I think um, we are working on it, and it's a process. We are more developed than we were on the first
Yeah.
years of the development, but I think that we can still have more things about accessibility and inclusivity into the platforms, and how we can manage those, still having the essence of the platform, right?
I have iPhone, but I don't know if that's something to do with, but some people that have Android also told me that they can do different things on their Instagram or on their Facebook, especially for us that we are publishing and we are creating content for a company. They can add more accounts, they can do s- so many things different, iPhone and Android
Yeah, and sometimes the way that the things appear on our screen is going to be different for the different
device.
devices as well. So that's kind of the things that I think designers are working on, and they are kind of doing different changes on those things, and that also works with the people that are buying that stuff, right? If you normally use Apple, you know the features that Apple has. So you know how to go to your Instagram, you know how it's going to appear, you know how you are going to manage your social media account, you know how it's going to pop up some things with your Apple device. But if you have maybe Android, it's going to appear different. It's going to show on a different interface. Maybe the scroll is going to be different. It's going to show. I see in some Androids that they have when they reach out like some on Apple, when you scroll and it doesn't load, it just come like pops. But on Android, they have like a light above. So it's kind of a different way that they show on the app, and that the mobile phone is going to work. But this is the things that are working with different types of, to say so, brains, and how the people work with their different devices. I'm more in the Apple side, but are people that are more on the Android side, and they love how these develops and how these pops up in their screens. So yeah, it's that's the thing that I think we are working on into the accessibility and inclusivity, and it depends also on the way that we work and we see things, and how the brain works, and how we actually get to choose the things that we like and how the things that we like, some things are just too much, right? People can work with different tabs in their computer, and people just need to have one tab. So that works a lot as well with the different platforms, as the way that you want to show your information, how are you going to place everything. So I think we are working on it, but still we have a lot of more things that we can work with.
You mentioned something about personalization that is key in user experience. So now social media are using AI technologies to deliver this personalized experience. What are the potential ethical considerations associated with this approach?
um I think AI is a great tool. I haven't used it that much, as I see a lot of designers do it, or a lot of people that are just trusting 100% on AI. I think that we still need the natural and personal, and to say so, the human side, right? Um, yeah, I think that AI is a tool, but it's not the overall, because at the end you are developing what the AI wants, right? You are thinking what the AI wants. And so this still needs the human touch, still needs the human interaction. Uh, on the ethical part, I think it's pretty like thin line, right? Because we see a lot of AI that is working just not maybe for the best purposes that we can say so. So that should be really taken care of. That should be a really like thoughtful way of working. But if you're using it as a tool to, I don't know, to create ideas, maybe to um iterate some things, to have more information about what the things that you want, and then you develop that, I think is a good way to use AI. And to actually, because these platforms are going to give you a lot of information, right? They are going to give you like the tools that you need, and they are going to just put it in your, like in your hand, like this is the information that you need for the things that you asked. Different that if you maybe, like if you search on Google, you're going to take a lot of time doing that. And I don't know, if you want to create an image or are going to create something, um for the load of works fine to have a AI tool that is going to give you like the basics, but I don't think it's good to have the overall product done by AI, right? For me, it's not ethical to do everything on the AI and then just be like, hey, this is my design, this is my idea, right? So I think it's a great tool. I think it's great tool for research, a great tool for creativity, iteration. Yeah, like a helpful tool, but not the overall tool, like you've done the work such as that. Yeah, and AI for me is like a pretty tough topic, because I think it has these kind of two sides. It doesn't have like, it has like the good side where you are using it and it's going to work great and it's going to give you the things that you want, and then it's the part, like the bad part, like that is just like if you copyright something, like you copy and paste everything, and it's just messy for me. So I think it's a topic that it has like a lot of good things, but the bad things as well, and we need to work with that carefully. And with that comes, obviously, for me, the thing with that tool is that you can personalize the basics that the AI is giving you, right? You can give your approach, you can give, but that comes as well with the research that you've done and the user persona that you're using, and how you're going to personalize your app, or you're going to use those kind of features to fit your persona, to fit the client that you are wanting to give this platform, these products. So I think, yeah, it's a great tool, but take carefully and always like try to yeah, to work with it and not the tool making the work for you.
I remember when I talked to Memo about AI, we mentioned a little bit about AI on social media, and we talk about how I'm talking with you right now, and I mentioned that I want to go to Cancun, and I open my Instagram, I open TikTok, and all I can see is Cancun related content. So
Yeah,
I don't know, like we mentioned that with Memo, and we were like, I told Memo, like, sometimes for me it's like impressive how they sometimes I'm not sure that even mention it. I think I just think about it and they already show me something like that, so it's scary for me. And Memo was talking about the machine learning and the algorithm and the AI that now all the social media have, and I
yeah.
think in
The
my
algorithm is crazy on social media.
yeah, but I think in my opinion, like it's they really need to work on that because, for example, I just give one like on TikTok to a video of the so sorry, of the race, the racing F1 in Monaco. I think it was a race, and I give a like because a model show ups and entering the car. Well, I don't. The point is, I put a like, and all I can see in the past 7 weeks is all racing and cars content, and I
Yeah,
don't even like it. So, and I don't know how to tell TikTok I don't like it. Like, please stop, stop. I put one like. It's my mistake. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know how it works on TikTok, but on Instagram, it's a feature that you have these reels part, right? And you can scroll infinitely and you have different TikToks, and they are now asking if that's something that interests you or if that's something that is not interesting for you. The normal things that you see, they are not going to ask, right? They are going to like, this is something that she normally sees, so I'm not going to ask. But when they show different material, the algorithm is like asking now, like, is something interesting for you or is not? Because then if you say not, maybe it's not going to pop up all that content again. But if it's interesting, that it is going to put that on your algorithm and it's going to be showing more and more and more.
I haven't seen
So
that
that's how it works.
on
So,
my
yeah.
Instagram. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because normally I was like sometimes I was just watching some reels and I was like, why this reel pop up? And then I figure out that on the end it was like, this is interesting or not. Because sometimes we see a lot of content, right? And we like a lot of content. Maybe one day we are liking I don't know, clothes, and the next we are liking cars, and the next we are liking, I don't know, um jewelry. So it's going to pop up a lot of things, and they need to know how to get you to like one thing, or to actually, like, a lot of people also are paying like campaigns to show some kind of products, and overall that kind of algorithm as well gives you like the path to show that content. Like, I'm going to show you this content because I know you like, I don't know, clothes, right? So normally if you don't like clothes, they are not going to show you that much. Even though it's paid, they are not going to show you that much. Maybe it's going to pop up one time and it's not going to pop up anymore. So that's kind of the features that you can also, I think, personalize in your Instagram and on your social media. And it's like, I don't want to be like tracked. I don't want to show my location. I don't want to, but that's a feature that you need to like go into the settings and put it down and see, like, read a lot of text that we don't normally read. So I think those things are changing in a good way and a bad way, right? Because first we were like, I'm just seeing content of my friends and I don't want to see like that. I want to see more. And now that we see more, we're like, no, I don't want that much. I want less content. I want to see only my friends.
Yes.
So I think that we are kind of balancing that off. on the social media, because it's hard, and actually it's a lot of content. We have a lot of things that we are seeing. We have a lot of features. We have a lot of and the things that work are going to be stuck, right? The scrolling is going to stuck. The double tap when you want to like something is going to like stick forever, but they are going to eventually get much more features, right? And now you, for the stories, now you have to shake your phone to see a picture that the people are publishing, right? So that's a trend now, and it's a trend that involves the hardware, because it's going to work with it, but also works with the software, because now you see that it's not there and you have to shake, and you're engaging with the new feature that is evolving, that is
I
you have
haven't
to shake.
used that.
Yeah, it's they developing a lot of crazy things now, and we don't know how much they are going to get stuck, right? That's why they are trends, because some of the things are just for that time, for that specific yeah, it could take this year, and maybe that feature is not going to get stuck. It's going to be something that is going to be forgotten, and then another trend is going to come up.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the things that they are always like trying to just to engage with the app, right? These are the features that they are trying to do, so you can engage and be like, oh, this is a new feature, I want to use it,
Yeah.
I want to engage with that. And now when you see another people that like another person in your profile that is using it, you now know how to use it, because it's easy. You just have to shake your phone, and then it's like, oh, good. So
I'm going to do it right now.
yeah, it's a weird feature. I didn't like it that much, because you're seeing the story now, you shake it, and then sometimes it pop up something that is any trouble there. So yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, those are trends that are just trying to engage, like make you engage with the product, make you engage with like have that more like they normally tend to manage and um view the insights also on the time that you are using the app. So
Yeah.
if they have a new feature, you're going to be using more the app, so
Yeah.
you're wanting to have more engagement with that. So those are the kind of things that they know that they work or they don't work. If they don't engage that much, if you have like if you develop a new feature and the time of usage is the same, is like maybe it's
It's not working.
something good, but it's just for the people that yeah, it's not working that much. But if it's like, wow, this is a new thing, I want to use it, is engaging a lot, right? So those are kind of things that work pretty good, and then they can develop something else, and you are just going to be there when they develop it, and because they already have your attention, right? So these is some things that are combined with UX marketing, sales. This is just a whole teamwork that is going to try to develop this, so you can still be using the app, you can still be using you can still be engaging, you can still be, and that's the like um how do you call it, like when you're loyal to a brand, when you're loyal to an app, when you're loyal to something, like you maybe be like um you were loyal to Facebook, right? But then it came Instagram, and you were like, no, I don't want to use Facebook anymore, I don't want to use, but then they did this collaboration, and now Instagram is with Meta, so you are sometimes going back to Facebook, sometimes going back to Instagram, but these are the things that they do more in the marketing and in the sales part. Like, don't forget this app. Hey, we have this new thing. We are collaborating with these. You can do these new things.
You
So
can
that's kind
publish
of
in both at the same time, so don't worry.
yeah, you can schedule now your content. You can do these. So those are features that are going to that has to be love with UX, UI, but also has to be with the engagement that you're having with the app and how you are going to yeah, those are simple things that make you engage more with the app. And it doesn't have to be a huge change. It doesn't have to be like for Instagram, it has been subtle changes, so subtle that, but you now don't figure out how it was, right? You're like, no, I like these better. And only if it's wrong for you because you were more comfortable with other feature, you're going to say like, no, I don't like these much. But the other things that are comfortable for you now, you don't remember the bad things that were on the past, because now you have a good feature. Now you have a good engagement with the app.
Yeah, I remember in one interview, Paula mentioned like UX it's a never ending circle, like never ending, and sometimes it's like you mentioned, something so small that you don't even realize that happened. And maybe sometimes it's something big, but it's always in continuous operate, in continuous research, and in continuous, like, well, trying to find the best way to have this engagement and your clients happy or your users happy.
Yeah, it's they are so subtle. They have subtle changes all the way. And when you I was just thinking like, yeah, I think obviously for the social media platforms, they're using a lot of UX trends. They are obviously engaging a lot. They are having a lot of research. They've done a lot of things that has to do with the app, but I didn't notice that much until I was like, oh, like when you put your eye on it and you actually try to see how UX is working on these apps, you know how they thought everything and how they are still working on that, because are some things that we don't see that much, but made a huge change. And it works for us now seamlessly. We didn't even notice when they made the change. It was just from day to night, and the other day you woke up and you saw something new and you were like, oh, this is new, but you started right away using it. And that's the thing that they are like, the trends that they are using with UX is that these kind of things, like maybe a feature that you had on Facebook was added to Instagram and you didn't even notice, and you use it just as a normal because you already had that like
Learning.
that knowledge
Exactly.
before. So a lot of apps and a lot of platforms are using, like I said, they are using the things that work with other apps because you're going to use it by knowledge. You're not going to need to have like instructions about it. You're not going to need anything to work with the app or the platform because you already have the knowledge because of other things that worked with other platforms, right? And other apps. So maybe that scrolling is just something that you are going to have with all the apps on all the platforms. But it was something that it started with one app and they just started using everywhere because it's a simple way to get engaged with the app, right? So yeah, that's how the good UX sticks and the trends just pops and then they
Go.
kind of go, because those are trends that as well they are trying to figure out if they work, right? They need to know if they work so it can get stuck, or if they don't get stuck, then they're going to change it. Like the double tap, at first it was just a trend and now it's something that got stuck,
In
right?
every
So the like
platform, in
maybe,
every social
yeah,
media platform. Yeah.
that's some things that the scrolling, it was something that they tried and they were like, let's try these, let's see if it works, and it worked, and they were like, let's use it for everything, and now they have it on all the platforms that we use, right? So yeah, I think the trends are more on the exploration part, on the see how it works, see how it, and the things that get stuck are the things that actually work and are not trends anymore. They are just something that worked and is going to
There
be
are new features.
there forever.